I already did a video on how to get girls at house parties, and that has a lot of tips you can use at bars and clubs too, so click the link on the top right of the screen and check that out as well. You know, lately I've been going out more and more, and I've gotten some more experience under my belt when it comes to getting girls at bars and clubs. So I'm here to ejaculate all of my knowledge onto you. Let's do this! The number one tip I have for instantly building a flirtatious vibe with a girl when you're out at a bar or club is to maintain solid eye contact with them throughout the interaction. This instantly builds up the intimacy, and since it's usually dark and you have to get close to her to hear each other, eye contact immediately helps add to the sexual tension. Another tip is to put your hand on her back and talk in her ear after you've talked to her for a minute or two, and you've built up the intimate vibe by teasing her and making eye contact with her. This will help quickly and casually break the touch barrier and make her more comfortable with you touching her. Now don't worry, I didn't forget a tip on how to actually approach her, okay? The best thing I recommend you do is to make a comment about something going on around you guys. This sounds like typical advice, but it's actually the best thing to do in this specific scenario. That is, if you do it correctly. It's the most normal way to approach a girl at a club because it's not overly aggressive, and it's not uncommon to strike up a conversation with people if your surroundings are worth commenting on. A lot of people do this all the time when they're not trying to pick up girls. The truth is, if you're at a club or a bar and you approach a hot girl, tons of other guys have already approached her and are already planning to approach her. So unless you're really good looking, you can't just go up and ask a girl for her number right away because it's too aggressive and not unique enough to make her care. Commenting about your surroundings opens up conversation and lets her see more of your personality and how confident you are in social interactions, which is what you want to aim for if you're average looking, around average, or below average. For example, just the other day I was on the train and the guy in the row in front of me was asleep and his phone was ringing really loud. I looked over at him and noticed it wasn't even waking him up, and he just kept on sleeping. The hot girl in the row behind him noticed too, so I just said to her, "Do you hear that too?" And boom, conversation started right there. We kept talking for a while during the train ride and I had her number by the end of it. Now, at clubs or bars, you can pick anything, but some specific examples of things you can choose to comment on are the super douchey drunk guy, how slow the bartender is, how bad the music is, the creepy guy who just tried hitting on her, the couple showing too much PDA, how little alcohol are in the drinks, how crowded the venue is or the party, how many people keep stepping on your shoes, how much of a dick the guy who just shoved his way through you is. You get the idea. Anything remotely interesting or worth commenting on is good enough. This is a lot more casual and easy to pull off since you're not just going up and saying something stupid like, "Hey, you're hot." And she'll be more open to talk to you since it's not uncommon to talk about your surroundings. Now from there, you want to make sure you tease her and flirt with her as soon as possible, since once you make a comment about something, you have like a maximum of 20 to 30 seconds to start flirting and to get her interested before she walks back to her friends or starts talking with a bartender or goes back to the dance floor or whatever. So make sure you execute fast. This is why you want to talk to a ton of girls and embrace rejection, because it'll build up your experience and you'll be able to quickly learn how to get good at it. Hell, if you approach enough girls in 1 or 2 nights, you'll already be literally 20 times more experienced than when you first started. So go out and approach a shitload of girls. Now, another thing that's equally important as the approach is this. You have to understand that every time you go out, there's a chance of getting rejected when approaching girls. And I've learned that the reason behind this is because at bars and clubs, there's gonna be 4 types of girls. Type 1, the girls with boyfriends. Now, it's pretty obvious that you're gonna have about a 99% chance of getting rejected by them since if it's a girl with a boyfriend or a guy she's talking to, she's not gonna be into hooking up with some random guy she just met. You can get these girls, it's just a lot harder, so don't get torn up about it. Type 2, the girls who are just in a bad mood and don't want to hook up with anyone or talk to anyone. This type is a lot more common than you think. Most of the time, these are girls who are just gonna give a bitchy attitude when you approach them. But the important thing is to not let it ruin your confidence for the rest of the night. When going out, I've seen some of my friends get shut down pretty harshly by Type 2 girls, and then they're too nervous to approach for the rest of the night, and that fucks up their confidence. Just acknowledge that the girl is probably mad at one of her friends, pissed about the rapey guy who tried rubbing up on her from behind, or whatever else girls get mad about. Realize that you don't have control over every situation with girls and you will get rejected by some of them, and then get over it. Look, guys get really stressed out about rejection and they take it personally. Well, I must be too ugly. Well, I must have really shitty game. Well, I must look weird, or whatever. But guess what? No guy gets every girl he talks to. You could be a trillzillionaire and look like Zac Efron, flying up to the club in a fully functional Iron Man suit, and you're still gonna get rejected occasionally. It definitely doesn't mean you're a loser, so don't dwell on it, just move on to the next girl you see. No big deal. Type 3. The girls with a super drunk and crazy friend. Type 3 girls usually lead to rejection as well because they're too busy worrying about their friend and making sure they're okay. And they won't even have time to talk to you regardless of how good looking you are or how good your game is. It's usually pretty obvious to tell if a girl's a Type 3 because her drunk friend will usually be close by, spreading all kinds of hate and discontent. Again, not much you can do here in this situation either, so you just need to suck it up and hit on the next girl and hope she's, that's right, a Type 4. This is the only type out of all 4 that's open to hooking up and talking with guys when she goes out to bars and clubs. These are the girls you're gonna have the best chances with, and you're gonna want to try to make sure you're only talking with Type 4 girls when you go out. Now, here are some tips to make sure you're spending time talking to Type 4 girls and not wasting time on the others. Number 1. If a girl looks like she's playing babysitter to one of her drunk friends, then don't even bother approaching, okay? Save that as a potential option for later, once you've approached every other girl in the bar or club. If a girl looks like she's in a bad mood, then don't bother approaching her either, since she's likely to fall into the Type 2 category and you won't have that much success. Now 3. Realize that you're gonna get rejected a lot when you first start going out, and it's actually a good thing because it just makes you more experienced for your next approach. Picking up girls in nightlife settings is extremely random and hard to predict. So, just embrace it and talk to as many girls as possible until you're successful. And that's it. In summary, talk to as many girls as possible and don't get concerned about getting rejected. Make really good eye contact, and make a comment about your surroundings, and make sure you tease her and flirt with her from the start. Hey, want more tips? Oh, Freudian slip right there. Want more tips on picking up girls at parties? Then click the link on the screen below and check out the other videos I did.
Superstar